we're going to start. And as I told you, the methodology that we are going to follow is that I'm going to give you a questionnaire every week. And on Saturdays, we are going to discuss the questionnaire. And we will clarify things if it is needed. If not, then we just go on. So this time, okay, let me see. Let me show you this. I know you guys know, I mean, not everybody, but most of you know how to work the OEM platform. So don't forget, this is just a reminder. So don't forget that when you go to the subject, you just click on content and you're going to find all the weeks, week by week, we're gonna be working. Right now, as you can see, last week I left the introductory little exercise, the testing book that we're going to use. And also this week I left the meeting that we had last week, you know, the YouTube video. And here you have the homework. So if you go into the homework, you will notice that you can see the instructions. You see, I just ask you to download the file attached and answer the question, and that you had to read the book. That means that it came from the book. And you see here the dates, the starting date and the ending date. It was from the 21st until the 26th. That means that today is the last day for you to upload the homework. If you don't upload the homework by today at 11:59 p.m., that means that you lost the points. And no, you cannot recover the points, I told you. Okay, now, let me just go back and I'm going to look for Ollie. No, don't do that. And I'm going to look for the material, the questions. And let's just go back very quick because I believe that I gave you some definitions last week about testing, evaluation, and also exams, and we talked about many things. So the first question for the questionnaire that I left was, what is testing? Do you guys remember what testing is? If you know the answer, you can raise your hand on Zoom. Okay, you can do it through Zoom and let me know. What is testing is the question. Lady, I have a question for you. Another question besides that. No, that's not a question. Just a comment. Remember to raise the hand through Zoom because if I'm showing the screen, I won't be able to see you guys. If you don't raise the hand through Zoom, you know. Okay, let me remind you. If you are in your telephone, in your smartphone, you click on participants, right? You click on participantes and you're gonna see something that says more, 3 little points together, and it says more. And when you click there, it says raise hand, you know? I don't know if you see it, but anyways, yeah, Mercedes, I see you found it. So what do you say, lady? What is testing then?
To me?
Lady, raise the hands first.
I don't know.
Testing is to keep track how much students learning about what you teach.
That's true. You know, when we say to keep track is when you are following a person, right? When you keep track is when you are checking the steps. of a person or a thing. For example, imagine that you are trying to discover a secret from a person, and you are investigating and you are checking. So that's when you are keeping track. So you as the teacher, what you are doing is keeping track, checking, observing what the students are doing. That's what it is. Okay, so just to make sure if you remember, what is the difference between testing and evaluation? Rosa, Angelica.
So in evaluation, you can teach, so you can evaluate the student about one topic before you. So in testing, you first have to teach them the topic
All
before.
right, very clear, right? Mercedes, you want to say something also? No, Mercedes is not there. All right, so as Rosa said, testing and evaluation is almost the same. The difference is that in evaluation, you don't need to teach, right, to verify what the student knows. You can evaluate before you teach, but testing, when you are testing, you have to teach first and then you test, because normally when you test, you are giving students points, right? Grades. So you are as a measure, you are giving students the points that they deserve according to the development that they are having in your class, the level of appropriacy of the class. Heidi, you want to say something also?
Was like that evaluation start at the beginning and then so testing is after we teach.
That's true. That's true. And remember, don't forget that evaluation covers everything since the beginning until the end. Testing is inside of evaluation. Testing belongs to evaluation, okay? We are just giving the differences between them, not to get confused. Because imagine if a teacher says, I'm going to evaluate my students from the last class, okay? If the teacher says that, he can say, I'm going to evaluate or I'm going to test students from the last class. In this case, it's the same thing. I don't want to get you confused. If you do it after you teach, it is evaluation and it is also testing, right? If you verify before you teach, it's only evaluation, not testing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And you guys know that already. Sorry, I like to repeat, you know, in different ways, just to make sure that everybody understands. Okay.
No, it's good. It's good. It's really clear.
Yeah. All right. So now we had another question. Now we're gonna go into the questionnaire from the book. We have the question number 2. And listen, testing helps everybody. Testing helps teachers, testing helps students. But the question is, how is it that testing helps students? In what way? Let's see if you guys know. How can a student get benefits from testing, from being tested? If you didn't do the questionnaire, then you won't be able to answer that. Laurie, are you there?
Yes, I want to say something. It helps because they make it clear about any games or error or missing requirement. You know, because sometimes we as a a future teacher
Yes.
have to help a student to be clear and not let gaps in the things that you teach.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very good. Yes, that's true. Guys, then I have a question before we continue because Lauri said something very important. Imagine that you teach a class, okay? You taught the class already, and you are going to test. You know that this is testing, you're testing. How could you test your students? I mean, how? Imagine that you teach something and now you want to test. How can you test students? What is it what you use to test students? That's a question.
Can I say something?
This is an open question, okay? I'm not looking for you to tell me. This is only an open question. You can say whatever you want. What you
Okay, I
will
want
do.
to say something.
Yes, Gabriel. Everybody want to say something, huh?
Well, in my case, I think that a way to evaluate when you already told something
Uh-huh.
is using an exam.
Yes, okay. You're using an exam, very good. What other way can you do to test your students after you teach? What else? An exam is something that requires time for you to create it, you know. What is a faster and easier way for you to test your students? I was gonna say Rachel, but not yet, Aristides. Let's give Juliet the chance. Yes, Juliet?
Okay, so in my case, if I were a teacher and I had already made the class to my
Mhm.
students, I can say, okay, guys, so tomorrow you're going to do a presentation
Okay.
by group, and you're gonna say what you understood about a specific topic.
All right, all right. Very good. Do you have something else, Aristides? I'm not listening to you. Maybe the microphone is not. No, I know you can listen to me, but I cannot listen to you. You will have to disconnect your microphone and connect it back just to, yeah. So in the meantime that I just come back, listen, I was gonna say Rachel, Juliet said that she will give a presentation to students, right? They will have to do a presentation, but that takes time, you know? They have to prepare, they have to come next day. Imagine that you teach a class and you wanna do it faster, easier. Students don't need to be creating things. How would you test students, Lideni? I don't know if Lideni is there. No, I cannot listen to you, Aristides. I don't know what's going on. You can restart the computer or whatever you're using. Lideni, are you
Teacher,
there?
I'm here.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. In my case, if I were a teacher and I would like to do like a faster, we can say
Testing,
feedback, like a fasting testing, I would think in a feedback or doing like a faster game, like a hot share to check
Yes.
how the students assimilate the material that I taught them. That would be like an idea that I would
Right.
do with the students.
Right, right. But there is a faster and easier way to do it. I know, but I cannot listen to him, you know. If you want, you can write it on the chat just to see if that was what you can write a very there. Because when I say it, then Aristides is gonna say, that's what I was going to say, you know? Okay, now I have a question for you. I want you to discover. We had classes last week, right? And I have tested you from the class of last week. What did I do to test you? Julie.
So what you did from the beginning, like last week, you asked some questions to
That's
different
it.
people.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's the easiest and fastest way. I taught you something, then I asked questions about that just to see how much you got, like how much you retain on your mind. I know all the strategies that you said are correct, all of you. That's very good because that's a way to test. Games, hot chairs, you know, exams, yes, that's correct. But I was looking for, that was your point, right, Aristides? I know you were gonna say that, you see? I know you knew it. All right, so that's the easiest way for you to test. If you wanna test immediately something that you have taught, the easiest way is to ask questions directly, depending on the group, of course, because imagine if you are teaching English to beginners, then it's gonna be very difficult to ask certain questions so they can answer you. Then you will have to use a different strategy. But I'm just talking about general things. When you are teaching normally, for example, to people who have the enough linguistic capacity to respond, the easiest way is to ask questions. I'm not saying that this is the best way or that this is the recommendable way. I'm just saying this is the fastest way, just for you to keep it in mind. Okay, let me see, hold on. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to the question that we started with. How is it that testing helps students? And I'm going to give you an example right now. You said that you can test through hot chairs, you can test through questions and answers, you can test through exams, and now I'm gonna take the exam, okay? Imagine that next week you have an exam. We're going to be tested, right? What is it what you do if you know that you're gonna have an exam next week? What do you do, Evelyn?
Study.
Hold on.
Study.
You're getting excited, guys. Don't forget,
Sorry.
you have to raise your hand before you talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Teacher, can you hear me
Okay,
now?
yo me voy a ir en español. Aristide, ¿eres tú que está hablando?
Ya, ahora sí, ya.
Ok, está bien, ya estamos bien. ¿Viste que era lo que yo decía, que tú sabías lo que era?
Claro.
Entonces, miren, vamos, déjame darle un chique aquí en español. Si ustedes no saben levantar la mano en Zoom, lo que pasa es que yo no veo quién habla y así la clase se interrumpen. Miren, Evelyn, mírenle la cara a Evelyn, mírenla. Ella tenía su turno y vino alguien y se lo robó. Yo no sé si fue Gabriel. Ustedes saben que a veces en inglés y en español no es lo mismo. Porque si yo digo Gabriel got excited and answered the question, ¿verdad? Eso se oye bien en inglés. Pero si yo lo digo en español, que Gabriel se excitó y respondió a la pregunta, suena raro eso, ¿verdad? Sí, debería de ser, se emocionó. Bueno, entonces me voy para acá. ¿Cómo levantar la mano en Zoom? Sencillo. Mire, si usted está en el celular o si usted está en su computadora, dele donde dice participante, ahí en el fondo, en el medio. Usted le da un clic y abajo en el medio dice participante. Usted le da participante. Si usted está en la computadora, busque su nombre, eso está a la derecha, cuando usted le da participante, vea su nombre y en su nombre ponga el clic ahí arriba que dice more. Cuando usted le da more, o a los tres puntitos que están ahí, le va a poner raise hand, levantar la mano. Si usted está en el celular, haga lo mismo, dele a participante y dele a los tres puntos, que significa más, y ahí va a aparecer levantar la mano, raise hand. Cuando usted le dé ahí, yo lo voy a ver. Si usted le da ahí y la mano no se baja después que usted hable, ahí mismo también usted le da lower hand, bajar la mano, porque después yo voy a creer que usted quiere seguir diciendo otra cosa y le voy a dar el turno. A ver, ¿lo encontraron? ¿No lo encontraron?
Sí, profe.
Ok, y aquella gente que no tiene la cámara activa, si usted está levantando la mano, sus manos físicas, recuerda que usted no tiene la cámara puesta y que yo nunca lo voy a ver. Eso puede pasar, relajando. Yo no le estoy diciendo bruto a nadie. Entonces, ya me voy para inglés. Claro que sí, Perla, si hay mucho escándalo en tu casa, tú escribes que yo leo. Ok, so
¿Cuál perla? ¿Cuál perla?
Evelyn, what did you say that if you have an exam next week, what is the first thing that you do?
The first things that you have to do is to study and practice what you have been done.
To study, and in which part do you focus? In the ones that you know or in the ones that you think that you don't know?
In the one that I don't know.
Okay, so you see, that's a way how testing helps you. Testing helps you learn even more. And testing helps you focus on the things that you believe that are coming for the exam that you don't handle, that you don't manage, you know? So that's a way. We also have, give me a second. All right, so, okay, now there is another way how testing helps students. And I'm going to give you two ways of this one. Imagine, I'm not gonna say any name here, I'm just gonna say an example. Imagine that you take an exam from testing, the first one, and you got 20 of 20. How do you feel? You feel happily, Danny? That's what you're saying? You feel happy, yeah? You're excited. You're excited, you're happy, okay. All right, imagine that we have the second partial, and you have 20 of 20. Remember, you got 20 on the first one, you have 20 on the second one. How do you feel now? More than happy, I guess.
Even more happy.
You like the class. You know what? Testing, I like testing. I want to get early to the class. I like Alberto, you know, as a teacher, he's nice. I like testing. I know testing. I'm a master on testing. And I learn everything from testing. You know what's going on? There is a positive attitude towards the subject. Testing is creating a positive attitude on you towards the subject, and you feel happy and you like it and you are learning. You don't need to get a 20. You can get a 16. For example, you can get a 15 on the first one. You don't feel that good, you know. You feel okay. You got 18 on the second one. Things are getting better. You're getting excited, you know, and you say, okay, I got 15 there. Now I have 18. I'm gonna make sure on the last one I get more than 18. So you're getting excited. You are going on, right? Now, let me give you another one. On the first exam of testing, you had 5 of 20. How do you feel? 5 of 20? You say,
disappointed.
Oh, man, what am I going to do? I will have to talk to Alberto because I'm going to drop this subject next period of classes because I am working too much. I am having problems at home and I cannot make it on testing. But let me try, let me continue. Then on the second exam, you have 8 of 20. And then you say, you know, definitely I have to talk to the teacher. I don't know what's going on. I have to talk to him. I have problems. I don't like testing. I don't understand anything from testing. Testing is not for me. You know what's going on?
Your attitude.
You have a negative attitude towards
Attitude.
it. And you know what makes it worse? I'm going to tell you worst. When you study everything what the teacher has given, and when you go to the exam, nothing what you study is there on the exam.
Exactly.
Then you
Ay, qué
say,
duro.
shit. You say, shit, you know what? I don't like testing. And then you're gonna say, then you're gonna start complaining about the teacher too, because the teacher did something wrong, right? He put, whatever he put in there was not what he taught you about. And now you're gonna the teacher frustration.
I happened that teacher once.
Ah, you see? Yeah.
Me too, me too.
You see? So basically, testing helps and testing doesn't help. But as we are focused on how it helps, you know, let me give you the third one, how testing helps students. We said it creates a positive attitude towards the subject. It helps you learn more because you study more when you are going to be tested. And the last one, oh, let me see. I think I forgot the last one. Oh, okay, I got it. When you have an exam, you take the exam and the teacher gives you the paper back with a correction. What is it what you do? Do you see the ones that are correct or do you see the ones that are wrong? You know? You check. Oh.
The ones that are wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, someone raised their hand and I didn't see it. That was Gabriel. My bad. Okay, yes, so you check the ones that are wrong because the ones that are correct, you don't care about them. They're just right and that's it. So you're gonna make sure that by next time, if this question appears again on the exam, you're not gonna make the same mistake. So that's gonna stay on your mind. So you learn, and testing help you learn even more. Learn those things that you didn't know or that you forgot. That's what it is. Gabriel, yes?
Well, on my case, I check all the questions, but I put more attention in the wrong ones. But
that's true.
Yeah, but for example, if I take a test, like 20 questions, and I know, and I did it all good, for example, I get 2 wrongs, I'm gonna remember all the questions and the answers. I got like a photography remembers of that exam.
Yeah,
so that
well,
will help.
The right ones, you know them, you know, although you see them, you know that you know them. And then you're gonna make sure that the wrong ones are there, that you know that that was wrong and that you get the right answer. Juliet, what do you say?
Teacher, I want to say that sometimes, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that sometimes we take an exam of you, for example, and we don't pay attention to the ones that are wrong or correct. And then you give another exam, and sometimes we have 4 questions that we had in the last test, and we get them wrong again because we don't pay attention to the
Because
test
you didn't
that
pay
we
attention. And you know what hurts more? That you know that the question was on the other exam, but you don't know the answer.
Yes, but that happens when we don't study, we don't read, and we don't pay attention. So that's a mistake that we make sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Right. So now don't forget, so testing can help you in 2 or 3 different ways. It helps you study more before the test or the exam. It helps you know the answers that you got wrong, so you learn more. And it also creates a positive attitude towards the class or the subject. If you did the questionnaire, you know what I'm talking about. So the answers are there. Now the other question was, if testing helps students, of course, testing helps teachers too. So how is it that testing helps teachers? How do you think that, how is it? Oh, Gabriel, did you raise your hand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, I got that test can help them, teacher, to answer the important questions. For example, have been effective in my teaching, and then can use them to diagnose their own efforts, which is really
Yes.
good.
Yes, that's true. You know what, guys? At school, in the primary level, in the secondary level, high school, and here at the university, at the superior level, you encounter with a few teachers that students are afraid of them because nobody passes the subject. You know, no one makes it on that subject. And if you make it with a 70, 75. And if you get 80, you are lucky. You are a master. You're a monster on that subject if you get 80. Now, what happens? These teachers feel very proud that their subject is very strong and nobody gets a 90 on my subject. No, nobody gets 90 on testing because I am a master. I am the teacher, you know? And from my subject, only from 30, only 8 and maximum 10 make it. And the teacher feels good and students are afraid of that monster. So, you know what's going on here? Students feel bad because they didn't make it. I had 30 students and only 10 made it. I feel so happy because I am the teacher and my subject is very tough. And you feel so bad because you're the students and nobody makes it because the teacher is very strong. Evelyn, what do you want to say before I continue?
That there is not a student problem, it's a teacher's problem. Because the teacher is wrong. He's not, there is something that he's not doing good.
That's right. Because what is the purpose of a teacher? Gabriel, did you raise your hand?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Let's allow Lady and just to see, not Lady, Heidi, sorry, Heidi. What do you want to say?
That it helps us to see the process, the progress that the student has in the class.
That's true. Well, Heidi says that when you are testing, if students don't do good, it helps you see what is the problem that the students are having in your subject. That is one way. That is true. Gabriel, what do you want to say before we continue?
Well, in that case, I can say that that teacher, for example, is making a test, not for the student, is making a test for him.
Right,
For example, okay, let me see what they can do. Exactly, but they are not testing their knowledge. He's not teaching the right way. He's just giving subjects and giving a hard exam so that student cannot make it, to say, okay, from 20, only one can make it. I'm the best teacher. I'm the monster, as you were saying.
Right. And you know what? You know what? Some students believe that. Some students believe that the teacher is a monster in a difficult subject when the teacher is the one who's making things hard when they're not supposed to be like that. Lideni, what do you say?
I want to say that that type of thinking in a teacher is not a right one in one aspect, because as you said in the past class, a teacher needs to have a balance regarding to their attitude, personality, and their respect. But the main object from a teacher is to guide the students to learn about all the process about teaching. And when they do that, they are not helping the students. They are like, how can I say the word? They are like eating themselves for their own like personality or things, but they forget about the main focus in the class that are the students.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So teachers need to keep a balance on what they do. So yes, I mean, if you are a teacher and teacher or professor, it doesn't matter. You if you have 20 students and you teach and only 5 of them make it, you have a problem. If you have 30 students and only 10 of them make it, you have a problem as a teacher. If you have 30 students and 5 don't make it, well, you know, that's okay. Maybe there was a problem with the 5 of them, but give me a second. When the negative results are more than the positive, you know, you have to revise that. And testing helps you see how good your teaching practice has been. Because if you are a good teacher and you're teaching things correctly, if you have 30 students, maybe 5 or 7 might have problems, but not 20, not 15. That means that you have to revise yourself as a teacher, not the students. You are doing something wrong, because the purpose of a teacher is the students progress, that they make progress and they advance. You know, whenever you see a teacher who feels happy when students don't make it, that teacher has psychological problems and he needs to be revised. Or maybe he's having problems at home. Maybe he's having problems with his wife or whatever, you know, because that's when personal things mix with work. And when that happens, you have problems. Yes, Juliet?
Teacher, I'm gonna say something, and sorry, but in our university, there are many teachers with mental problems.
Hopefully I am not one of them, you know.
I agree with Juliet. I agree.
Yeah, right. Now, as you see that, and you're gonna be future teachers, maybe not teachers from school, but one day of life, you can be a teacher, one day in life. Just make sure that you don't repeat the same behavior, because sometimes you criticize your teachers because they are like that. And when you become a teacher, you are even worse, you know? So don't do that. Don't do it. Miguel Angel, what do you want to say?
Hey, sir. So, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. I'm so sorry for, but I haven't hear every conversation. So in this kind of point, I could say like they have a phrase, and it's become a real phrase. Uh, like not everybody could be teacher, and that's exactly 100%, because everything like when you become a teacher, everything's come your heart is passion. Passion. When you teach with passion, you can see that through your clothes, so multiple time, like years ago, we can say when Danilo was was the president. So he's put like a 4% for pay, like some like he declared. So every single people want to be teacher. Every single people want to be teacher.
Yeah.
But do you know why? Because the money. Because the money, everyone to be teacher. But that's wrong. That's wrong. Be teacher is not easy. Be teacher is not easy. There are many people having thinking like, okay, it's just I'm going to be in front of them, say hello, put in class, or make dictation, or write in the blackboard, and that's it. But that's wrong. You need to be passionate for everything you have to do, So immediately you see or you watch, or you watch like that kind of people. I mean, like the way he's interacting with a student, the way he's giving his class, you can recognize if he's a real teacher or he's just be for the money, fake teacher, or or he's passionate teaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I know.
Story 100% different.
Yeah,
it's 100% different.
That's true.
So
I say
that's my point of view.
A lot of teachers, you know, they have different certain behaviors, and it's because of that. Maybe they're not real teachers. Maybe they just people who just want to get money and be there, you know. So that's true. That's true. That's correct. Very good, Miguel Angel. All right. We're not gonna be here for a long time. We have 15 minutes left, and we have 4 questions. Very easy to answer. Now, testing as a subject has had different periods, different stages, and in the questionnaire there was a question that said, how many stages has testing had? How many? If you guys know. Yes, lady.
3 stages.
3 stages. And what are the 3 stages? What's the name for the 3 stages? Just to see if you guys know. Oh, okay. Perla, Beatriz.
Is scientific, interact.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot the last.
All right.
Is.
Don't worry. That's okay. Don't worry. What do you say?
Can I help her?
Give me a second here. What do you say, Aristides?
The 3 stages are intuitive, communicative, and scientific.
Okay. All right. Let me get this. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. So stages of testing. Okay. So this is the last part of the class that we are going to touch, not teach, touch. Okay, so you guys said that we have the intuitive or intuitive stage, intuitive. We have the scientific stage, and we also have the communicative stage, Aristide and Perla said. Okay, now we have it in order. This was the first, this was the second, this was the third one. Now, we're talking about how teachers, how people tested, the way that people tested during those different stages. Now, I'm not gonna ask you, but I know you read it, but we're gonna put it in a very easy way so we can understand it. Intuitive comes from intuition, the word intuition. So what do you understand by intuition? Like, it's intuición en español, but that's not what I'm looking for. What do you understand by intuition? What is that? Intuition. Lideni, did you raise your hand?
Huh?
You raised your hand, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
I understand that when you say about intuition is that when you teach something that comes from inside of you, from your heart, your principles, or any ideas that you have in mind and you want to develop to the students.
Right, right. I mean, nobody told you to do it. You did it because you thought that that's the best way. For example, we are teaching imagine that we are teaching a very easy grammar. That is the present perfect, for example. This is an example only. I took a grammar, but we could do it with a vocabulary or whatever. But we took the present perfect, right? You taught the students how you form it, how you use it, how you pronounce it. And now you believe that having students create sentences and say the sentences is the best way for you to test your students. Or you believe that giving a dictation to students with the present perfect is the best way to test the grammar. You see, or you believe that making a drama or a presentation is the best way for you to test the present perfect, because in the conversations, students have to include sentences that have the grammar. You see, I gave you 3 different ways how you could test it. So then you as the teacher, you decide which one is the one that you believe is the correct one. You think. I'm not telling you that I'm giving you this for you to do it. I'm just giving you ideas that 3 different people might believe different things. That would be the best way to test the grammar. And that's what we call intuitive, right? When you test the way that you think it is the best one. When you test something according to your beliefs, according to what you think, Lideni said. Okay, so that is the intuitive part of testing. Now, there was a problem with this stage. If everybody starts testing the way they believe, then there is gonna be a problem, you know? Because there are theories that tell you that certain aspects of language are learned one way and that others are learned in another way. So you cannot test students the way you think all the time. Imagine that we are here in Dominican Republic and every teacher is going to test the way they think is correct. You know, there's gonna be a chaos. That's right, the Ministry of Education has to establish certain guidance and rules to let you know how you have to test your students. For example, los indicadores de logros, right? Those are the ones that test the competences. So, although you do whatever you want, you have to follow what the Ministry of Education says. So that is very different from intuitive. So I'm going too far, I'm sorry. All right, intuitive part is when you test the way you think it is correct. That's it. Then we go to the scientific stage. What happened in the scientific stage? Did you read that? I guess you didn't read it. I know. The scientific stage, what happened? Look, the scientific stage is all, yes? Who's talking there?
Me, Miguel Angel.
Miguel Angel, yes.
So, in my case, that one I could read. I could read. Sorry, it was like in scientific history. I would say in twisted, because in scientific you need to like go deeply, like have proof. I'm right or I'm wrong? Have proof, and that way you needed to look for the way and have note and everything that.
Right. Okay, I don't know, Lideni, if you have your hands up or if it was from before.
It's now, teacher.
Oh, okay, go on and then we will have Gabriel after you.
Okay, it's about the same thing. It's about the scientific stage. About this says that was the era that all the testing scientific, all the testing specialists, they got into contact with the linguistic and they built like a body of language research.
Yeah, that's true. What do you say, Gabriel?
Yeah, I just want to say that the scientific stage is a time that stress auditive evaluation by language specifics.
Okay, you know what happened to the scientific stage? The scientific stage is all the opposite as the intuitive part. In the intuitive part, everybody tested the way they thought it was correct, right? There was a diverse a huge amount of different ways how to test. Now in the scientific one, you know what they did? They created one specific way to test everybody. Like, because Miguel Angel said that in the scientific part, they revise, they see how it works, and if it works, they apply it to everybody, right? The same procedure. So there was a problem with that. Not everybody learns in the same way. Everybody has different skills, right? And imagine that we say that learning the colors, like the colors, you taught the colors, now drawing, that drawing is the correct way to test. And everybody is gonna be tested through drawing. But guess what? There are people that don't know how to draw, that they don't like to draw, right? And there are different ways. Maybe with paper color, right? Paper color will be another strategy to test. Maybe there is a person who, or a group, right? That does better with the paper colors, that does better through a video, that does better drawing or painting or whatever, how you wanna call it, right? That does better describing the clothes, talking. Okay, Alberto is wearing a pink or orange polo shirt. He is wearing black shoes, blah, blah, blah. You see, that's another way to test. But the scientific part said that there was only one way, a structured way to test the specific abilities or the specific part of language, in this case, and other subjects. As every group is different, as every person is different, the scientific stage had to move on because it was not applicable to everybody. And that's right, we passed to the communicative stage, right? The communicative stage is a combination of the intuitive part and the scientific part, okay? But did you read something from the communicative one? Did you get any information from that, from the book, for the communicative stage?
Yes, teacher.
What did you see there?
As in the book says, it's a time in which we emphasize evaluation of language use rather than the language form.
Okay, okay. You know what that means, guys? Before, people were very focused on speaking like a native, of being correct. And whatever you say needs to sound correct, right? Like, and yeah.
In this stage, teacher, it's very important to mention that, as you said, they make like a combination, but partially they focus in that if you use not only one skill, if you use like various sub skills, you can develop better the students, not even in speaking, also in the writing process.
Yeah, that's true. So basically, look, the communicative stage, communicative, you know from what word comes? You know where communicative comes? What is the mother word for that? Gabriel?
I'm not.
Communication, is it?
Communication, guys. Language, we are talking about language right now, right? Language, the purpose of language is the communication. The problem was that before, people were focused on the language structure. People were focused on how much grammar you master, how much you know how to conjugate the verbs, how many words you know in English, the good words, the bad words, the high level words that you knew. But now in the communicative part, it is focused on testing how much you can do with the language, not how much language you know, or how much you know about the language. is how much you can do with the amount of language that you have. Look, guys, there are people who know more English than me. In grammar, they know all the grammars. They know a lot of words that I don't know. But when we go to speak, I know more than them because I use everything I have, but they cannot use what they have, you know? And that's what we call language use, not language knowledge, okay? Well, if you have the two of them, you're perfect. But we are focused on the language use, the communication. Yes, Gabriel?
I want to say something about what you're saying right now, the language use. I know many people from here that they have like, they mastered all the language grammar and all that. But the time that we're talking about language use, about speaking the language, they have none.
Right, right. That is true. You see? Okay, let me see. Miguel Angel, you want to say something else? We are almost finished. It is 11, so we are ending. Yes, Miguel Angel?
Okay, I will be quick. So that's a big problem we have right now in DR, you know, so because we find a lot of people, they know, they have that capacity to write down all the grammar, you know what I mean? Perfect way, you can say, like really well.
Yeah.
But when they come to talk, they just stay like stopping, like, oh, in shock. They can speak well. They have a struggle to speak, you know. But if you have both of the way, you know, so speak and writing down, that would be like totally 100% different. You know what I mean? So in this kind of point, I just want to say, my classmates, we needed to look for the way, you know, to create a whiteness and challenge ourselves. I mean, like working hard, because when we are be in the front of our students, they can feel our present. I mean, when I say that way, I just want to say, like, they can feel we know our career we are having starting right now. You know what I mean? So this way is very important, guys. So that's my point of view and my encourage.
That's true. Now, what Miguel Angel says is, we are in the communicative stage. What we are testing now is not how much structure, grammar you know about the language, yet how much you can use the language to communicate. So if you are the teacher, you should have good communication skills, right? If you want to teach students, because that's what we are looking for today. Yeah, that's a very good idea, Miguel. Very good. Guys, I don't know if you have a question. Don't forget then, intuitive part, what you test the way you believe is correct. Scientific way, stage is when all these people got together, the linguists and the scientists got together and created a unique way of testing. And the communicative part focused on language use and not language knowledge, not on form, right? And in the communicative stage, you can use part of the scientific and you can use part of the intuitive. What I mean is that you can test the way you believe is correct, but within the regulations that the system gives you. The system gives you a variety of ways on how you can test. So you will decide which one you are going to use, okay? It's not intuition, it's not intuition. It is, I told you, a combination of intuition. The system intuition created a list of ways how you can evaluate, right? Like scientifically, they look for the best ways how you can evaluate. Now you have at your disposal the combination of the two. Different scientific methods, but you don't have only one, you have many, and now you're gonna decide which one you're going to focus on. And that's it. You know, you have freedom now to choose. I know I talk too much, you know. So do you have any question before we finish? If you have no questions, very good. If you have no questions, then from Monday on, we are going to have the second homework, the second questionnaire. Remember, today is the last day for you to upload it. And I don't correct until the last day is finished. Maybe you did it 1 hour after I put it up on the platform, but I'm not gonna check your unique or individual homework if the time is not done yet. I'm gonna wait for the time to expire, and then I'm gonna start correcting everybody's homework, you know? Yeah. All right, so I will see you later then.
Okay, see you at 3:20.
All right.
At 3 p.m.
3:20.
3:20.
Yeah.
Oh, 20. Okay, got it.
Sí.
Bye.